Hafade Guam and beyond, welcome to another episode of Winning with Win. This channel is about how to invest for optimal health. So it's Diabetes Awareness Month. It's kind of weird for me to really promote Diabetes Awareness Month because I feel like it's always diabetes awareness every single day in the clinic for me. And it's just interesting that we have a month dedicated to diabetes awareness, but there's a national holiday for mostly processed foods 365 days a year. So that's marketing by food companies at its finest. And with this constant flux of highly processed foods all around us, no wonder why our diabetes rates are skyrocketing, and it's a big challenge to reverse diabetes. And you know what? It's really annoying that we don't have a Guam National Whole Foods calendar. I mean, February 14th should be National Oyster and Maca Root Day.
Come on, man. No, I'm serious. I'm being deadly earnest.
Okay, I think I went on a bit of a rant. So, in the spirit of Diabetes Awareness Month, I want to go over what I believe is the most effective diet for reversing diabetes for the vast majority. But before I go into some of the solutions, I want to go over why turning back to the progression of diabetes is critical and how it may affect you, even if you don't have diabetes. So this channel is about investing, so let's talk about numbers. There's an estimated on the World Bank data that there are about 18.7% prevalence of diabetes on Guam. And more than likely, close to 50% of us are either pre-diabetic or diabetic in the adult population. So what does that mean for healthcare? So about 1 out of 4 US healthcare dollars is spent on diabetes. The average cost to take care of someone with diabetes is about $16,600 per year. And conservatively, say if 25,000 people are diabetic on Guam and you multiply that by 16,600, it costs about $415 million to treat diabetes on this island. I'm just doing some second, third grade math to come up with that $415 million. I don't know if that's true. I don't know, stay well, select care. Am I on the ballpark? So what does that mean? So you and your employer contribute every month towards your insurance premiums, and about 80 cents of every of those dollars are contributed, and it goes back to reimbursing your medical providers, your chiropractors, nurses, psychologists, the hospital services that are rendered. And about 20% of that dollar goes towards operating costs of the insurance companies. And somewhere in between there's about a 2% profit margin left. So if there's a projected 0.3% of the population increase in diabetes each year, and it costs $16,000 to treat diabetes per year, the profit margin for that insurance company is going to dwindle pretty quickly. So that leaves insurance companies with a few options to slow that bleed financially. So number one, they may have that option they have to be creative on how they invest that liquidity pool of money that they receive from the premiums. Number two, they have to increase premiums to unaffordable rates, higher than your mortgage. And if we're talking maybe Medicaid and Medicare, it'll ultimately come out in higher income taxes just to offset that healthcare spending. And number three, they might have to decrease reimbursement to healthcare providers, or they don't cover certain medications or services that patients could really benefit from. And sadly, all three scenarios are actually happening right now, and everyone loses. The insurance company loses, the healthcare provider loses, and the diabetic patients, they lose the most. Maybe they might even lose a foot or the kidney. So here's my message to the people with the diagnosis of diabetes. I know it's extremely challenging to really manage diabetes. And I was a pre-diabetic myself, despite being an elite tennis player, and I hardly ate fast foods, and I really couldn't believe it. So in my response to that, now I exercise about 4 to 5 times a week, and I'm pretty meticulous on my diet, just to stay marginally below the pre-diabetic range. This is a priority because I still have my eye on the prize of playing tennis past the 100, and I want to be able to provide for my family. And I know diabetes robs you of your potential, your ability to play with your grandchildren, your ability to save money and invest towards your retirement. I mean, hospitals stays are really expensive. Say you charge your credit card for a hospital stay, a couple $1,000s, say involving an infected diabetic foot ulcer, and if you're paying minimum payments on that credit card with an 18% interest, it might take you over 4 years to just pay that debt off. So despite all your family members having diabetes and you might feel destined to follow the same path, I'm going to tell you that you have a lot more control of the outcomes than you really think. That small lifestyle changes that you slowly adopt can really change the course of your disease. And really, you don't want to let diabetes rob you of the things that you really love to do the most. And look out for the next video on some strategies to reverse your diabetes. Until next time, invest in your health for meaningful gains.